What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Cobb, aka Double Flamingo, aka the GOAT, aka ready to win my week 4 match in the Pussy Draft League. This week my opponent is one Bionic Lettuce. We've played many a time. He's the owner of the league, and he's the coach of the Pyukumuku Purgatory, and his team is vaguely resembling a war crime. So last week we won our match, so we are currently 2-1, which qualifies us to be able to play him. And his match has a lot of mons that I think should be banned. So he's got Lando-I Incarnate, which always a threat, always a demon, always terrifying with insane special coverage, really decent speed stat that's faster than my entire team, and just insane Pokemon. Gets nasty plot, so if he gets a nasty plot up, then there's a chance I just lose on the spot. He's got Mega Mawile, which, you know, base 100 attack with freaking huge power and Steel Fairy typing and Sucker Punch and Swords Dance. Also a mon where if I let it set up, I might just lose on the spot. Very dangerous. Galarian Darmanitan, which is one of the best pivots in the game. Guerrilla Tactics gives it a free choice band, so it's probably going to be Choice Scarf, because with a Choice Scarf, it outspeeds my entire team. It's a common trend of having things that just outspeed my entire team. And for the rest of the team, he's got Zygarde 50%. Thankfully, Power Construct is banned. Otherwise, he would actually have the best team in the league. But yeah, Zygarde's there. He is able to glare most of my stuff, which is really annoying with the speed control. If he's like sub-coiled, then that's really hard to break through unless my Urshifu gets in on it, but my Urshifu doesn't want to be paralyzed. It's just really terrifying. He's got a solid defensive core in Chansey plus Slowbro, very difficult to break. He has Pyukumuku, which is actually pretty difficult for me to kill here. I'm not bringing my Ludicolo, so my only real offensive threat to it is Zapdos, which I need to Volt Switch. Spoiler on my set, I don't have Thunder. Hisuian Quillfish is actually also a decent bring, because my only Earthquaker is these two. So he can sort of sponge attacks with Intimidate. Galvantula, which I think is definitely a bring here, because it's base 108 speed faster than my entire stuff. Sets up webs, clicks Thunder on everything. Very difficult for me to play around. In the original mocks that I was doing, I was just losing to Galvantula because it was clicking Thunder and I didn't have any of my ground types. And also it gets Giga Drain, which can hit Swampert. Very dangerous mon. Like if he just runs a set of like Sticky Web, Thunder, Bug Buzz, Giga Drain, he has no pivot move, which is whatever, but like that just hits most of my team for pretty decent damage. And last one on his team is Moltres. Moltres, even though it's a fire type coming against like an entire rain team, it's actually decent here because it has pretty good offenses and it gets to click Hurricane, which can't miss because of my own rain. So if he's running like an offensive Moltres, I was losing to Choice Scarf, Moltres, and Mox. It's just a very dangerous team from top to bottom, but I think I have a decent strategy to take this on. So let's look at the team. So let's start with Yowie Wowie the Zapdos, with a really Chinese EV spread on this guy this week. So the Fizz Def, I forget exactly what it's for, but I'm minimizing damage from stuff like Zygarde Stone Edges, Zygarde 1000 Arrows, things like that. The Spadef investment, exactly, this 188.32, is so I always live 2 Galvantula Thunders, which makes me a good switch in, because like having Zapdos in on most of his mons is a pretty good thing. I just get to click Hurricane or Weather Ball and Rain. The speed is to outrun a max speed invested Moltres, which if that comes, then that's good for me. It also outspeeds modest Lando-I Incarnate, which is a good thing to do. Zapdos isn't getting affected by webs. I got lefties with static so that I can sometimes switch in on Mawile. If it gets set up, then it's kind of annoying, and if it just play roughs, it's kind of annoying. But like if it's brick breaking versus my Ferrothorn, or if it's iron heading, then Zapdos is a decent middle ground, and he can get staticked and get crippled with full pair hacks. So that's why I have Zapdos. It's also one of my few special attackers on this team, because I'm running Male BASCULEGION this week, but I'm gonna get to that guy eventually. We got Let Me In, the Urshifu, just normal banded Urshifu, doing normal banded Urshifu stuff. The speed here, I forget what that's creeping exactly. It's creeping something, I don't know. Whatever. Max attack with Surging Strikes, Close Combat, U-Turn, Aqua Jet. This thing gets kind of annoyed by Slowbro, which is why I think Slowbro is a come. why I think Slowbro is a bring. Also gets kind of annoyed by Pyukumuku, which is why I think Pyukumuku is also a bring. But I do 2KO Pyukumuku with Bandit Close Combat, and Slowbro doesn't like if I U-turn out on it. In the end game, I can just click Surging Strikes, and that can be decent. I also can click Aqua Jet for priority to revenge kill things like the Landorus, to revenge kill things like the Galvantula, like the Moltres, some of his less resistant to water mons. I should be bringing Shifu every week. It's just a normal Shifu set. I was thinking something with sub bulk up this week, but it's a little shifty to get in. Next we got Sister Abigail the Ferrothorn. This is probably going to be my dedicated lead, because if he has Galvantula on his team, he's probably leading with that, and this matches up decent into that. I can just click knockoff for Leech Seed into anyone on his team. I have enough Spadef investment so that I'm always living a Life Orb, Landorus Focus Blast, assuming he's timid. If he's modest, then it has a chance to kill me. But if I knock off its Life Orb, then it's a lot less effective, and then I can just like click Leech Seeds. I got Spikes because the hazard damage is going to be really important for a mon on my team. I have Iron Head, so I'm not like entirely passive versus Mawile, because if Mawile is like focus punching or something, then that's annoying. If it's subbing, I want to be able to do like a little bit of damage to that, so I can full switch with something else. Iron Head's like the least useful move on the set, but I don't want to be entirely passive, so I have it here. I think I might just replace it with Gyro Ball, because I don't think this battle's going to go that long. Boom, life changes on the fly. Look at that. Actually, is body press better? Analysis paralysis. Who cares? Touch grass. Anyways, Ferrothorn is going to do Ferrothorn things, sees the entire team, knocks off items, gets chip. If I can get up a bunch of spikes, then that's really, really useful. If I need as a late game sack to Mawile, so I can just get Iron Barb's chip, that's also great. But next we have the new Face of Fear, Clodsire. I got Shukaberry for Earth Powers from the Landorus Incarnate and 1,000 Arrows from the Zygarde. Running a standard Clodsire set, Recover, Toxic, Stealth Rock, Earthquake. Earthquake is my necessary attacking move. I kind of can't hit Landorus, but if I Toxic it, then that's good enough, because I have Shifu, which can revenge kill with Jet, and other guy who can revenge kill with Jet, spoilers. Ultimately, my goal with Clodsire is to be a hard Galvantula counter to counter any sort of special attackers he wants to bring outside of that, like Moltres, if it's offensive, doesn't appreciate me having a Clodsire on my team that's Spadef. I set up Rocks, which is really, really important for, again, another reason I'm going to get to later. And toxicing things like the Zygarde, toxicing things like the Moltres, toxicing things like the Slowbro is really, really useful. It's here because I need a rocker, and Swampert is a little too... It's not tanky enough. And I can afford to be a little tankier on this team because my offensive buttons are fine enough. Next we have the Eater of Worlds, my Pelipper. My Pelipper is running Spadef this week, so I can always be a reliable Landorus switch-in. Hurricane, Scald, U-turn, Roost. Scald versus his team does kind of insane damage. Like, there was a match in my mocks where I There was a match in my mocks where I O-code a Galvantula from full with a crit Scald into burn, which then killed it through its Focus Sash, which is pretty goofy. If I burn things on his team with Scald, then they're crippled. Like, if I burn the Mawile on a switch-in, boom, that's done. It's cooked. If I burn the Zygarde, boom, it's done. It's cooked. Hurricane is a good neutral ground. Ultimately, it's my rain setter. I really appreciate having rain this week. It's also good against Slowbro. It's a future sight switch-in if my Ferrothorn gets a little chipped, and my Ferrothorn's a little susceptible to body press shenanigans. So that's why I have my Pelipper. My Pelipper is decently good at clicking offensive buttons versus this team if I just keep it around for long enough. So hopefully Pelipper gets like a few kills. I think that'd be really funny. Last mod on my team is my WinCon and my strategizer for what I'm building my entire team around this week. Choice Banded Adaptability BASCULEGIon. When you see this guy, you better run. So the entire game plan is positioned around clicking Aqua Jet. I have enough bulk so that I'm always living a Mawile Sucker Punch at +0, which is important. I actually outspeed a Mawile that's not running speed, but there's a chance his Mawile could be running speed, and also like Sticky Webs could be up, so he'd Sucker before my Jet. So I ran a few calcs on how much damage I need versus every mon on his team in order to Aqua Jet them all. And this is what the calcs look like. So Galarian Darmanitan in rain takes 90 to 106. Lando-I out of rain takes 90 to 106. So both of those, if I get them in rocks range, or if I get like Iron Barb's chip on this, or like any toxic chip on this, or I just have rain up, then it dies. This dies to rocks Aqua Jet. Moltres, if it is Fizdef, takes 79 to 94 in rain. If it's running any other investment, it just insta dies. Mawile gets 2 KO'd in rain, which if it comes down to an endgame situation, I'm just gonna click Wave Crash because that's always gonna kill. Chansey, if it's Fizdef, takes 24 to 29, but if it's for some reason specially defensive, because he assumes that I'm gonna be running like more special attackers, then it takes 63 from 74, which is insane damage. Zygarde takes 40 to 47 if he's max HP, max attack, and then 29 to 35 if he's fully Fizdef. So if he's fully Fizdef, then Wave Crash does 86 to 100, so it's like a 25% chance to Oko in rain. I just need a little bit of chip on this, and then it'll no longer be a problem. And Slowbro is a funny case. I don't even have Pyukumuku on here, by the way, because he just lives. It's Pyukumuku. What am I gonna do against that guy? But Slowbro, to a Phantom Force, takes 99.4 minimum. So it's a 93.8% chance to Oko. So if he's at full health, there's a chance I just like don't kill it and then I die to something. I get fucking burned by a Scald and then I lose. Which hopefully that doesn't happen. But BASCULEGION should clean up in the end game as long as I facilitate a good end game with all these mons. So yeah, that is going to be my team this week. When you see me for the battle, I'm going to have a different haircut because I'm going to get a haircut in between the team builder and the match. So look forward to the match in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye. I'm back. And my hair's shorter. Crazy. Okay, so we're going to stick with the post-commentary style because I feel like that's a bit more good. I got some feedback from the last video, and some of y'all seem to like post-com more, so we're going to stick with that. So this is the team that he brought. So out of the guys that I practiced against, did not practice against Chansey, did not practice against Lando-I that much, which is kind of dumb because it's a broken mon here, and didn't practice against Moltres that much. I was expecting more of like Zygarde, Galvantula, and maybe Pyukumuku, just because he's like a little bit of a cheeser and it's like his mascot, but he's bringing like an actual like serious like trying to beat me team. And this Chansey in particular is going to be a problem because it's his only stealth rocker on the team, and I'm not running boots on this or this because I expected him not to have Chansey, therefore I expected him not to have hazards. So I look at this team matchup in team preview. Originally my lead was going to be Pharaoh, but with the potential Moltres lead, with the potential really Garm lead, and I'm not Fizdef, it's not looking that great, so I figured, okay, just rest on my laurels, just do my normal lead, do Pelipper. So start by leading Pelipper. I'm in on this Darmanitan, and I figure if he's Scarf, he doesn't kill me with an Icicle Crash, and he could just overpredict on my Ferrothorn switch, and try and go for like a Hammer Arm or a Flare Blitz, or maybe he just like clicks U-turn like a standard normal Garm. Turn 1 happens, misses his Icicle Crash. I am unbelievably lucky for him to miss that Icicle Crash, because, spoilers, I die to that. If he hits that, I just fucking die with my Pelipper. I'm Spadef, and this is not a Scarf Garm. This is a little stronger than Scarf Garm. I click U-turn. Probably should have clicked Scald in that turn, but I just U-turn out into my Pharaoh. If I Scalded on this and I got the burn, then this would have made this game a lot easier for me. But I figured, okay, he's just going to pivot. I'm just going to pivot. When he doesn't pivot, it's very surprising, but works out. I'm in on my Pharaoh. My thought with this is I'm just going to Leech Seed something, knock off something. I knock off the Moltres. Don't get Flame Body Burn, which is great. No more boots on this Moltres, so if I get Rocks up with Quag, it's pretty nice. Claude is my Moltres switch in. I get burned with a Will-O-Wisp. Set up my own rocks. I figure I'm going to bait him into clicking a Defog this turn, and just get myself some free momentum. Either get a Toxic on this, or get a free switch into something else. Scout to see if he has Defog in the first place. And it works out for me. I'm kind of regretting having Shucka Berry instead of Passive Recovery, because this burn is going to actually tick away at me, but that's neither here nor there. So next turn defogs, gets rid of the rocks, makes sense because he has no more boots on this. I get a free toxic off. This Moltres is no longer as much of a threat defensively. I should actually know, by the way, if we go back a couple turns, with that hurricane damage, I should, if I was running my calcs, I should know that that's offensively invested Moltres. It is not max Fizz Def by any margin because the max Fizz Def Moltres does not do 32 with a hurricane. But let's go forward back to the defog turn. He switches back into his Garm. I have no switches for Garm. I recover. Kind of a greedy play, not gonna lie. I probably should have just gone like, I don't know, Basculegion or Zapdos or something else to try and like scout out what this Garm wants to do. But I figure, okay, I still don't know if you're Banded, if you're Life Orb, if you're Expert Belt, if you're any sort of like whatever set. I don't know if you're Scarf. So I scout by switching into my Pharaoh. And my Pharaoh from this Icicle Crash takes fucking 84%. And it's on this turn, in this moment, I figure out I have no switching for this. I just have no switching for this. I'm running the calcs. Icicle Crash, as you can see, does 55% to my Urshifu. Min roll is like a 47, I think. But that's still a weighted in his favor to a KO. So this Galarian Darmanitan kind of just eats through my entire team. Basculegion's kind of a switch in, but I want health on this. Otherwise, I just die to a Mega Mawile Sucker Punch, or I just die to like anything else on his team. So I can switch it in once, but that's it. This gets OHKO'd, this gets OHKO'd, this gets OHKO'd. This is on 22% health. This gets to a KO'd. Galarian Darmanitan can click Icicle Crash for the rest of the game and just win. But I have to scare him out with the potential of me being faster because I know that that's adamant damage, and it's definitely adamant banded, so I run the possibility of being faster than him this turn, and he doesn't want to lose his Galarian Darmanitan. He knows that it's like his most pivotal piece in this game, so he switches out to his Slowbro, which is a regular Urshifu counter. I read that, click U-turn, do a nice 51 because I'm banded, get to see that he's Rocky Helmet, so I'm taking more chip on my Shifu, which is bad because my health actually matters this week. I just go to my Pelipper, hit a Hurricane, hope I get the confusion so bad, but I don't. So he gets to slack off his health back, goes into his Chansey, which can always counter this. I get to Scald, don't get a burn, pivot out on the Chansey. I'm like, okay, he's going to Thunder Wave something, or he's just going to get up rocks. My Pharaoh is fine with that. My Pharaoh likes seeing the Chansey out because Chansey has a billion health. So if I get to Leech Seed this, then it's amazing for me. I get to actually get my Pharaoh back in the game. It can go back to being like a decent Slowbro counter if Slowbro has Body Press. It can go back to being a decent Lando counter. It's kind of an important piece in this game a little bit. And also like Chansey's pretty passive unless he has like Seismic Toss, which doesn't kill me. I can just like set up spikes and get my little hazard chip. So I'm in on this. He sets up rocks. I get full paired. Okay, whatever. I get full paired once. Sucks. He switches back to Garm. I get full paired again on the Leech Seed. I think I click Leech Seed both of these turns. And this sucks. Like, if I click Gyro Ball that turn and I don't get full paired, then I kill this, and my odds of winning the game go up by, like, a lot. But now he's in on the Darmanitan. I have no momentum. I have no nothing. I have to pick another sack. I have to pick whichever member of my team is the least valuable. And I'm deciding, is it Ferrothorn? It's not Urshifu. It's not Zapdos, because Zapdos gets me through the Slowbro. It's not Pelipper, because Pelipper gets me up Rain. It's definitely not Basculegion, because that's the only way I have the possibility of winning this game. So that leaves Ferrothorn and Clodsire. And unfortunately, the Mon that I'm going to have to sack is Pharaoh. Don't need it anymore, really, because this is Spadef to take on the Lando. Claude can take on the Moltres better than Pharaoh ever could. It's sort of just dead weight at this point, and I need to make a sack because nothing wants to switch it on Icicle Crash. If he missed with that crash, then maybe I kill him with Gyro, and that would have been great, but that's not how things go. So I go Shifu. I bluff the Aqua Jet. He just goes into Moltres. I U-turn, expecting Slowbro to come back out. Thankfully, don't get Flame Body Burn. I have to go into my Zapdos because I'm made to be faster than this all the time. I'm 308 speed, so I can be faster than all versions of this Moltres. And I figure, okay, Rain's down, which sucks, so I can't click Weather Ball, but I can get a pretty free Hurricane off on an incoming Lando trying to cover my Volt Switch. Get a Hurricane on this if it's trying to come in, and maybe confuse the Chansey. So he just goes Chansey, as he can go like every time. That's fine. Don't get it confused. I get my health back with lefties. It's decent. I Volt out on the Chansey. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get my rocks back up, and the rocks can help me win the game a little bit, because he's just going to Thunder Wave or Soft Boiled or something like that. He wishes. So no Soft Boiled, Wish Passing Chansey, which very fucking dangerous for me. Takes this turn, stays in, Wish Protect to get his health back, which I think that's kind of a greedy play, because like it's not like my Zapdos is doing anything anyways. And I can just or it's not like my Clodsire is doing anything anyways. Like, you have Natural Cure if I Toxic. If I had Low Kick, then maybe that kills it, I guess. But I don't see a reason for him to be protecting. It just sort of sacks some momentum when he could have like potentially paralyzed this, or just like, I don't know, switch to something else, heal up something else. But I digress. Ice Scald trying to get a burn, get my burn, which is nice. He wishes again, trying to wish pass. I'm trying so desperately to catch anything with a Scald. I click Scald on the Darmanitan, I believe. No, I click U-turn. Okay. I should have clicked Scald that turn. The potential for him staying in was there, I suppose. But I should have clicked Scald, because anything that comes in doesn't want to take one. Like, Slowbro kind of does, but then you're in on my face with the Slowbro when I have Hurricanes that I'm sending off. If I Scalded and got the burn on this Garm this turn, then this maybe could have been winnable. But I didn't. So go back into my Zapdos. He gets back to full health. And I'm like, okay, he has to be slower than me. Get my Hurricane. Hope I get it confused. Don't get it confused. He lands his Icicle Crash, kills my Zapdos. My Zapdos is down. Very tough game state at this point. I have to bluff Aqua Jet again. He goes back into his Moltres. It's fine. I just U-turn, get my little Moltres kill, because he no longer has boots. And I have to go into my Basculegion, bluffing that I'm Swift Swim, so that I can maybe, like, open up something with this team. His Mawile has Intimidate, so I'm not threatening this with any sort of kill, and I'd probably kill myself with Wave Crash anyways. Plus, if he suckers, then, like, I live one sucker maybe, not after rocks, and definitely not after Wave Crash Recoil. So I'm like, okay, Mawile usually shouldn't have anything to touch my Clodsire, and I can just Earthquake this forever, force it out. If I get more chip on the... if Garm comes in, Garm, I'm pretty sure takes 11 from an Earthquake, even though I'm burned. So I'm just going to Earthquake until I stop having to. Like, if Lando comes in, then I can just Toxic it, and then I get momentum by making a sack, but I'm behind, so it sucks. He Mega Evolves, clicks Play Rough, doesn't hit me. Probably would have done a fuck ton of damage, because I have no Fizz Def on this, even though I'm a Resist. Goes into Slowbro, that's fine. I Toxic reading his switch into something else. Get the little Toxic on Slowbro, that's useful. Gets me good chip in the late game versus this. I'm hoping he's not clicking Scald or anything, because I'm not Water Absorb. He teleports out into his Garm. His Garm threatens to kill again. And I just have to hope for the Icicle Crash to miss. He doesn't miss. Kills my thing. So now I'm down to Shifu, Pelipper, and Basculegion. I don't have the... Especially with my Shifu health where it is. This is in range of one Rocky Helmet, so we can bring this out all the time. Like he's more than happy to trade this for this when he has a Lando-I still on his team. He still has a Chansey around. Like the only thing that can kill his Chansey is my Shifu. So it being on low health means Slowbro just forces me into a checkmate position. So brings out a Slowbro on my Aqua Jet, because I have to click it at this point. I have to try and get the Garm off the table. My thing dies. I go out into my Pelipper, and there is kind of a line where I win from here. It's not a very likely line. It's a very, very unlikely line. But if he misplays with his stuff, and I get like Hurricane Confuses, I get Scald Burns and him switching into Lando or Garm or Mawile, then it's kind of possible. He just has to play kind of bad, and I have to get really, really lucky. But regardless, this turn I'm clicking Hurricane, just Hurricane into the bro, getting my little damage, hoping I get it confused so I can stop him from healing up or teleporting out or getting any sort of momentum. Because if this bro comes off the table, then I maybe get to a point where I can just click Aqua Jet with Basculegion, because this dies to a Jet. This can get in range of a Jet, and it can't kill me because it has no attacking moves. And this, if I get like a little bit of chip with like a Scald or something, is in range of a Jet. So that's what I have to play to at this point. That's my only win con. He teleports out, brings in his Landorus, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't know that I'm specially defensive. Takes Rock's Chip. Hold up, pause him. Okay, back to this turn. he brings out his Lando. I know this doesn't kill because I'm max special defensive, and the best thing he has to hit me with is like a Psychic, or maybe a Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave probably kills me, but if his only attacking move is like Psychic, Grass Knot, Earth Power, and then like Nasty Plot or Rock Polish, I know he can't kill me. So I'm like, okay, he's sacking this like for sure, like for sure. He clicks Psychic. I live on 1% health. I Scald, insta-kill him because Rain and super effective and whatever. Okay, the Lando doesn't really matter at this point in the game. Like, him sacking that is good for him because, like, this Pelipper is the only thing in between him and winning. Because I'm banded on this BASCULEGION. If I lock myself in a Wave Crash, I die too fast. If I lock myself into Aqua Jet, then I can't break the bro. If I lock myself into Phantom Force, then I can't kill the Chansey. So it's just sort of, this is the only thing that can like stop that from happening by either taking out the bro or getting enough chip on the Chansey so that I can kill with Jet, or getting a chip on the Mawile so I can also kill with Jet. So him trading that for this, even though he didn't know he was trading that for this, is a good trade for him. He brings out his Chansey. I'm like, okay, this is the throw. I can just get my health back. Like, you're not immediately revenge killing me. He wish passes. Doesn't pass it, actually. Just Thunder Waves me. Okay, that's fine. He opens me up to getting haxed. That's whatever. I'm fine with that. But I'm just going to keep clicking Scald until he goes into something that can get burned and maybe win me the game. Heals himself back up with Wish. Who cares? Whatever. He cringe wisher. I'm also getting my health back with Roost so that I can live. I click Scald on this turn. I'm like, okay, please get punished for your insolence. Doesn't get burned. Gets healed back up to full with Wish. And now there's a Mega Mawile sitting in my face that definitely OHKOs me with Play Rough. And I don't have a way of stopping it from, because if it has Sucker Punch, I'm at 76% because of rocks. So I just die because like I calced so that like it does 90 max. So he subs. That's kind of a throw. I get full parried, which sucks. But because like if I Scalded that turn, then it's maybe a throw if I'm faster than him with my Legion, which is likely unless he's speed invested. Because this is like the sub is getting him closer into range of Aqua Jet. So he Play Roughs. I live on 2%. I get my Scald, break his sub. So he just gets to kill me this turn, because if he subs, I just get Scald again and chip him down to where he's in jet range. But like if he's in jet range, then I can't kill the bro. It's a checkmate position at this point. Also, the rain's done, so I'm not doing as much damage with the jet. He kills my Pelipper with Play Rough. I send out my Legion, and the game is over because Sucker Punch just kills me at this range. So I lose at the end of the game 4-0. Ultimately, the issue with my team, and this is an issue that I had week 1, I wasn't analyzing it as much because I was just too busy being salty about losing my first week, but strong physical ice types kind of just shit on my entire draft. Because every water type I have, except for Urshifu, but Urshifu's not like a tanky guy, and BASCULEGION, but like BASCULEGION needs its health. Every water type I have has a secondary typing that's weak to ice. So I'm really wanting for ice resists. And like even of my low tier picks, like my Overcool doesn't resist ice, my Wordier doesn't resist ice. Like maybe Wordier, if I'm Fizdef with Intimidate, can help me out versus some of those guys. But I'm really wishing I had like a free agency still to pick up like a Cobalion or like any sort of bulky steel type, bulky ice type. Well, bulky ice type suck, but whatever. Like I'd take a Hisui Navalik at this point to stop me from getting torn apart by Darmanitan. But yeah, poor preparation on my end. Didn't prep for Chansey, didn't prep for Hazards. He brought probably one of the best teams that he could have brought. And yeah, that's a 4-0 loss for me. I'm now 2-2 with a -2 differential, and hopefully next week we can make it up. So yeah, that's the match, that's the game. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload my new videos. Spoilers, it's going to be at noon on Sundays at noon EST, like basically every week that I'm doing this draft league. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.